and albeit at a very, at kind of its infancy, when you would expect more difficulties to happen for mousesports, Acor didn't feel as though he was being a dominant force. You know, it felt a little bit timid in the way that he was approaching some of these rounds, and maybe there is going to be a bit more leverage and more liberties taken.
Well, action's about to start. Frozen comes up with a big one, going for more, will not be able to connect. It's a whiff that leads coldzera to a longer life. Rops, meanwhile, still around on stairs. A man behind him, that's Rain on the hunt, but can he find anything? There's 2 people, 3 even, right around the corner, and Dexter will overwhelm. Twist to fall, coldzera to be the last one through to the grave. mousesports start things off strong, but now comes the hard part. Now comes anti-force spy.
Yeah, it looked like easy pickings there. The USPs holding at longer distances, and they weren't able to get close to that jungle position. You know, those fights are so crucial at the start of the execute, and not being able to set up so that they could siphon off rotations. mousesports were just in great positions to start that one anyway. So, like you said, the difficult part comes from mitigating the anti-force buys, and this was something that hurt them in the best of ones, that they did lose a crucial round to end up losing the games, forcing them into this lower bracket. Hoping that they can avoid this time around. Frozen. Backstab on Karrigan is solid. Oh, but okay. Timing through the smoke. Broky's found one. Frozen's still trying to keep things under control, but Brokey in response. So it's into a 3-on-3. And while there's damage done onto Brokey, those 2 kills are going to really segment both of these site players. And BMAS, that's a crucial fight to win. Still no possession of this bomb. FaZe haven't made any progress thus far. And those rifles are so far away that they're not really recoverable to try and cascade things out of control.
And with Dexter being the only person on the B bomb site, this is the best possible decision they could make. Make it a one-on-one for the Deagle if they want to go over there. Obviously, they don't know what's going on exactly, and mousesports is starting to cheat a player over, but instead they reconvene down in mid. Bemis is pushing completely into A main, so they at least know that that isn't a possibility. But now that the smoke has bloomed to block off the short cross, this might be a call to start going back to the B bomb side. Bemis as well, pushing through. Where do they go? Looks like a boost could be in the cards for them, and they seem to have found the one route which is completely uncontested. 30 seconds on the clock, though. And Acor, he is watching. Do they get the shot, though? They go in! Twist has done it! And now it's back to a 2v2. Beam is still on the bomb site with a Molotov as well. But if he goes down, this becomes nearly impossible. Now a gun recovered as well. Brokey, I don't think he was able to quite spot out Bemis. And as the bomb's being planted, the people come through and the deny is there. 12 seconds, but Twist gets another 10 seconds on the clock. He's got to go for the bomb plant. Now going for a safer attempt. And Dexter with an MP9. Twist very low. Twist! Oh, you could see it right in your mind. You could see it coming through. Lots of damage dealt. A bomb plant found. And if they don't go for another force buy, I would be very surprised.
Oh my days, how close does that have to be there from mousesports? Talked about them falling victim to the Deagles in a previous series. Now coming straight out the gate, you know FaZe have that star power. You know Rain is very capable as well, but it's Brokey and Twist that make it oh so contestable. You could see just how close they were to winning out that round. It shouldn't have come as close as that. And immediately we're sent into a pause. Like you're trying to keep things under control. I think Mither was very vocal on Twitter about them losing some of these rounds that they know they really shouldn't do. And that I think that's one of the trends that we've noticed with mousesports, especially since the leadership swap, is that there have been these issues where even when they are winning, it feels like they are losing a lot of these rounds that really impacts the economy later on, only for them to be this swing moment where when they finally lose, you know, they're sent straight into an eco straight afterwards. You know, they don't really feel like they're in dominant they're not in dominant leads in spite of maybe winning 5 or 6 rounds in a row sometimes.
It is all about that money on the CT side, and you know, in the current metagame, that just isn't really excusable anymore, fortunately or unfortunately. FaZe Clan ends up being one of the teams that benefits the most from that. Obviously, the kind of Deagle power they have. This is the thing about FaZe Clan, Michael, that it seems like they're basically playing the game and building their roster on cheat mode, because it's like, okay, the one young guy we had, the one guy who's just an FPL star who wasn't even one of the big standout people who everyone's watching out for, like, you know, Rops was or Zaiwu was. He was just a guy who everyone knew, okay, he's got mechanical skill, but now that you're going into it, maybe he performs, maybe he doesn't. Today, he's one of their best performing fraggers. He seems to show up every single time.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is doubting that honestly, even if that weren't the case, right, where if we didn't start to see a separation from the pack, you wouldn't be surprised to see anybody at the top. And I think this is what was being discussed the last time these two teams faced off against each other. Is this is a story as well of FaZe trying to bring some of the older generation back into the limelight again, right? The fact that we lost out on coldzera for such a long period of time, where it didn't feel as though he was stepping up in these clutch moments. He's being called upon a bit more recently, and he's been finding a lot of success in doing so as well. So we're getting some return to form from some of these veterans, even if there is some newer talent sprinkled in there, a little Brokey in there alongside the veterans.
I mean, you also have to consider coldzera versus Rops is this really potentially iconic matchup that should start to come up. Slightly similar play styles, I would say, not quite the same, but they're reputed for the same things, which is that, hey, the guy is ridiculously cool under pressure. The guy is absolutely fantastic in a clutch round. He's good at, being slightly separated from the team and playing in the mid round. Great decision making, fantastic secondary calling. And now Robs is secondary opping as well. So you're literally basically the exact same thing, which everyone said about coldzera a couple of years ago. So even that matchup is so incredibly interesting when you get down to it. You've got the A-Core versus Brokey, both younger oppers, but very different styles. Robs versus coldzera, to me, that's a big one that maybe people don't talk about as much.
Yeah, who's got the better read on the game, right? Especially if you're going to see Karrigan utilize coldzera in the more traditional way, the ways that he was being touted as the highest impact player of the old SK team.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be interesting watching that develop.
It does, however, seem like when you're comparing rosters on face value, the difference then comes in where you're looking at twists. And we saw earlier today in the best of one, Twist didn't really have the best of performances on Train. He had his moments. He had a couple of decent, secondary op rounds as well when it came to CT side, but numbers weren't great. And you've got to say it like it is. The question is, does that X factor, does that difference maker come through and overwhelm the side of mousesports? And I'm very curious to find out the answer to that one.
Yeah, something Karrigan said in the interview after the series they last played against each other was that, the idea was to jump in and throw whatever strat book they had out the window and start from scratch. And that maybe leans into that conversation we were having earlier where, you maybe thought FaZe would just skyrocket out into the world, flap their wings and fly. And,
I was ready for it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of other people were as well. But Karrigan wants to do things his way, and mousesports are familiar with his way. So even if they are trying to implement these different facets, even if Karrigan is making adaptations, there is going to be an element where, I often talk about players leaving teams, joining other teams, and having the read on their ex teammates. I think mousesports are going to have a little bit of an edge in that the way that they adapt is going to be led into the way that they think Karrigan's going to run things as well.
Well, we've got a way to see. This time mousesports aren't having to face off against a full force spy, but one that is still plenty deadly. Karrigan doing the old Karrigan thing, dropping an AK for twists.
Good man.
Indeed he is. Good man to drop it to as well. Very full setup from FaZe, yeah.
Yeah, keeping cool. They saw how close they brought it last time around, and they're hoping that they can bring it a little bit closer this time. Less armor, but a little bit more firepower.
You also have to feel so bad for them having to purchase head armor in this one, because you just don't know exactly what's coming for you, even if the Eagles are quite likely. You just don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
Robs is going to be the big man right now, though. Very important position, playing around with Frozen, and as the flashbang will start to come through, Robs will peek out. Robs will get one, but not two. Rain overwhelms, and Frozen with a smoke will at least delay the push for FaZe. Trying to get in one on the backstab, but is not able to do so. The trade favors the terrorist side, but with 35 seconds, the clock takes the blue team.
Oh, head spotted in the connector as well. Coldzera tagged down. They have to be able to read into where Bemis is positioned. He's sandwiched right between both sides, and quite literally that. Bemis, 1 kill's not going to quite cut it. They can look to try and get this bomb planted. Acor looking to deny, in fact, pushing forward, and it's Dexter at a distance. 13 seconds, a one-on-one, and Twist needs to close the gap, get his hands on this bomb, start to get it planted, and Frozen knows it.
And Frozen's just not peeking. He's playing this perfectly. Now Twist goes for it, but it's in the open, trying to get the kill, but it is unsuccessful. Even falls after time, and that's going to be crucial. Let's not forget, Karrigan spent a lot of that money earlier on getting him an AK-47. So now when you go into the buy, it's actually going to be Twist again who's left a little bit lighter. Now, of course, Karrigan being the man he is, will dropping the gun again, but even so, if you're on the mousesports side, you can't be feeling too good about that either.
Yeah, it's a really passive approach as well from Frozen at the end there. You know, had an opportunity where he could have taken the fight, but just not sure if that was going to be the case, right? You don't want to give Twist a chance. Either way, it's another close round that Mouse somehow gets her away from. Drops though aggro in Palace. Coldzera is prepared. They started a man deficit.
Not quite your turn yet, Youngblood. I swear, someone like Cole's got to be thinking that every time he gets a big one. Speaking of, Acor from the stairs rains down. Nice little shot onto Brokey as well. Now FaZe Clan have got a pretty gaping hole in their middle side play. Karrigan's the only player there, and that too with a Galil. But mousesports are instead doubling down on the bomb sites. They're comfortable giving up mid.
Yeah, and this progress that they've made over towards B is going to be everything. Look at where FaZe are positioning. The bomb's heading its way over. They've still got Karrigan kind of lingering in through middle, and he's going to realize that that's free real estate. Problem is the actual apartment is not.
Dexter does get one, trying to back off, not much HP to work with right now. He's just acting the second for Frozen. Frozen falls though. Rain waiting for the push, knew it was coming. And now with 35 seconds left, once again, FaZe Clan have control of the bomb site, but can they get it planted safely? Acor right in the market, Molotov at the door, smoke at the window. They're locked out for now. Bomb plant secured. Not much utility to work with afterwards. Rain doesn't want to reveal his position, but will he peek this out? Acor holds the angle, waits for the crossover to benches, but Karrigan playing from the corner of the bomb site. Off angle, will find one, turns around, but it's actually still Rain to save the day. They get away with 2 in FaZe Clan. Just with that, have broken the mousesports money.
Yeah, big 1-2 punch in the 2v2 as well there from FaZe. Just playing off each other and having a pretty good read as to how mousesports were going to approach it. He thought that the aggro B setup was going to be enough as well, but the fact that Rain doubled up was just so big for the side. Gets them enough room, and with Karrigan making his way into the site as well, mousesports just couldn't fend for the control. And this is what I was talking about earlier, you know, the rounds where it should have been easier wins. You know, the anti-force buys are never easy, but they're where you hope to make some money. As soon as mousesports lost that round, they're back into pistols themselves.
Well, can they come through with those pistols? Not a stack, but it is Bemis to fall. Rups, meanwhile, thinking of backing off. Nothing really much to be gained here. I wouldn't be surprised if they did just start moving back if they don't get a kill soon. Acor tagged up heavily, still trying to contest. Not successfully, though. Brokey keeps them at bay. Frozen's waiting for them. Oh, God, that is an ambitious flank. Maybe just exits.
Yeah, it's containment.
Ah! Okay. Suddenly comes through. Okay, really not expecting that one as they're starting to go through some more. There will be an opportunity for Rain to fall, but Ian still comes out on top. A little bit more prepared than Broken. Smoke not there to cover Dexter this time, while Frozen is whiffing shots.
Okay.
Taking mercy on Karrigan.
I liked the idea to contain them. You know, we talked. I think we've had this discussion fairly frequently. You know, you don't hold the site too well. You've got a pistol and armor. You can bring that forward to the next round. You know, you can think about greener pastures. Maybe go for a stack. Maybe go for something different. But after they contained them, they weren't quite satisfied with that. You know, Dexter got the 1 kill, and then all of a sudden everyone just, you know, took off the brakes and started creeping their way forward in first gear.
You start seeing red, don't you?
Yeah. Give me some of that action.
I feel like we talk a lot about anti-eco kills in the Counter-Strike world. We really need to start talking about the Force by Hunters, where you're on a deagle and say, well, you know what? Let's go for it.
Yeah.
It's perhaps not quite as egregious. I'm honestly not even exactly a mistake, but definitely in the vein.
I think it's just always interesting to note it because we've seen the game move more and more economic and more conservative, right?
Yep. For better or for worse. Frozen falling.
Perfect
Also
flash.
falling. There you go. Indeed it was. We've got to say one thing, that early on today when they were playing against Navi, mousesports had some really, really good-looking utility on overpass, and start on CT side in particular. You start to wonder, will we maybe see that as well later on Mirage if they're feeling comfortable and going for this? They've obviously gone for some efforts to extend their map pool.
Oh my goodness, what is going on?
Yeah,
We're focused on Acor, and I'm happy we are. Come on, man.
He has one of the best movements.
Yeah,
in the game,
he actually does, and that's the worst part. That's why the
Like,
disappointment is there.
It's him and Alexi, I think.
S tags up there as well.
Yeah.
Big time Kazir. Better Kazir
would
than I
be
am,
up
and I
there.
spend a lot of time on that.
Fair enough. Acor would be out there, but he can't land his jump, so hey.
Can't even make the Mirage window jump. It's crazy. Only good movement in knife rounds, apparently.
Now, though, comes out the AWP, and we've got to see what exactly he can get done with that. Earlier on, we saw a nice spicy shot onto Brokey. Still, one thing that I do find interesting is that FaZe Clan are also opting to go for the op on the T side. Brokey generally can be slightly more aggressive with it, rather than the supportive style you'll see from Acor on that T side. So, looking forward to seeing how much of a contest comes through. Brokey does have a really good spawn, but instead chooses to delay it. So not going for a faster peek. And okay, all right, there we go. That's the Acor we know and love.
Yeah, a little nice, a little smoother. He's just practicing, warming up into it. We'll see if the heat's enough, though. You can see they're working off of minimal stuff. They don't have a kit as well, so going for some aggro plays would certainly go a long way. But Acor's up high, and he had nobody to support. Twist is doubled up.
That's massive. The kill on the Robs just makes it so this A bomb site is so insecure from the Palace attack. Bemis is out in the open. Anyone from Palace can just chuck him out like that. And this looks to be just a waterfall coming through with Brokey covering off the flank later on. Not quite the flank, but just the stairs angle later on with the AWP. Bemis, though, smoke in front of him has faded. Twist still inside connector. Dexter will not be able to see him in this angle, even if he comes to take a peek from short. 50 seconds, and FaZe have shown no problem in slowing down, but Twist right now going for more will get 3. All of them practically entries.
Oh dear, and it's Dexter. A 1-on-5. Not looking likely. Bomb's gone down. You could see air frustration to it. And it just seemed like mousesports had no idea what the possibilities were there from FaZe. I wonder if this came from a hard read. This is where the minutia starts to come into factor. Because I talked about how maybe mousesports would have some understandings about how FaZe Clan would approach these rounds. And sometimes it can come down to just minimal bits of utility being expended. Just taking a pause to see if Dexter gets away with this one. He might do.
Yeah. Would be quite important. Flashbang at least lets him get him back. But has been spotted out. They know where he is. Brokey holding the angle. Rain as well. Just waiting for the opportunity. And Rain got mid-air. Dexter. 4 kills on the retreat. But FaZe Clan's got plenty of money, so they're not feeling too heartbroken about that one. Dexter saves the gun. They don't have enough for a buy around it, though.
Yeah, yeah, I do just worry, because I think mousesports seems to have an indicator, and it felt like they just get caught completely off guard, and it almost felt like either a misread or a miscall. Being alone in that position where Acor was with the AWP is really just confusing stuff as well, considering it was fairly early into the round as well.
You generally expect Robs to have started coming out a little bit earlier, and I do think that was just a case of, ooh, nice shot from Frozen, okay. Robs might actually be able to get one over here as well, making things a bit interesting. And picks up the AK. He's got armor, so keep an eye out on him. Bomb still not picked up by FaZe, and they left it behind to go around their exploration mission. They've got 2 AKs now on mousesports side. This is suddenly getting tricky. FaZe Clan, they were the ones dishing out the pain on the force buys. Now Acor and his Deagle are in the perfect position. Oh, call from Palace, though.
Yeah, Bemis with a headshot angle. Gives up his position, though, and Rain's going to track him down. Frozen, hands on that AK. The couple that they have, boost over the smoke? Yeah, seems so. They find one from it as well. 2-on-2, no kit, but these players are low, so Brokey has to get aggressive. He peeks in with the AWP. Frozen now left to clutch, and I don't know if he's even going to consider it. You know, they have a bye next round anyway, but there's now been time where FaZe can reposition.
Surely he backs off, but no, he's going for it. This is such a difficult round to take away, and Brokey will save a precarious situation. Of course, Rob, if he'd just been a little bit faster to take down Twist, it would have been a 5v3, very different. Can't really blame him just walking forward at that stage and his teammate trying to keep him distracted. But you could see FaZe Clan definitely getting a little bit iffy. Now, double up setup pulled out. Robs, of course, is the one who wields it on Mirage.
Yeah, nice time to call a timeout. We talked about the high impact that we expect to see from players like Rops and Frozen. You know, him alongside those two alongside Acor have some of the higher statistics, at least on this map for mousesports. But we've seen some really high impact stuff so far from the FaZe Clan side. You know, we talked about the entries, and Twist has been one to deliver a lot of those as well.
Twist has been very, very solid so far.
Maybe is there a correlation? You know, good hairstyle, good at Counter-Strike. I feel conflicted. Had a lot of hairstyle considerations recently myself, so.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But have you gotten better at Counter-Strike? That's a big question.
Probably not.
Unfortunately. You have to keep an eye out for Rumps, though. He's found one good nade going forward, but you know, FaZe is already backed off by now. Playing with a disadvantage early on is not something that FaZe Clan has had to contend with too often so far.
And it's that rivalry. You know, you talked about the Rops Cold Zero head-to-head. They've battled it out quite a few times already at the start of this one. Now FaZe setting their attention towards middle. A double up setup's going to be a little bit tricky to navigate. They've set 3 players over towards B momentarily. They're hoping that Dexter can move into a rotationary position. They're primed. They're prepared for Rops to get a bit inquisitorious to where they're positioned. You know, are they making their way up the connector? Because that's a bit of a vulnerability.
They should have an idea. Dexter's about to take the peek as well. Smoke comes out, so they know for sure. Bemis has cleared out A main. Robs has got to be the player who shows up and steps up. Dexter, however, will have the first chance, but pulls out a nade at the worst possible time. Carrigan down in sandwich, not brought down, but Bemis will be the one to fell him. Robs backs off, opting for a more defensible position. In a 4v3, they're comfortable. The flashbang goes out. It gets rained completely. Bomb is dropped, and Bemis will finally fall, but the bomb being so far away, Robs can go for the shot. Brokey reveals his position, and Robs instead chooses to be defensive. He's waiting for FaZe to make a mistake, and it seems like they might just be doing that. They have to get aggressive as well, and they know it. And as the peek comes in, Robs will get 3 with that one. They look like they were doing everything perfectly. You're going for the double peek. Yeah, guys, we've rehearsed this. We've done this 1,000 times. But no, not against Robs, you haven't.
Man, so cool, calm. As soon as he spotted out the players as well, took a much more passive angle. And they needed the additional position. And that's basically the only way that he wins that fight. Keeps himself alive because they were prepped for that trade.
Just all the micro adjustments from him, you could see he's always in CT spawn, but just the awareness to understand the difference in duels when you're in the advantage, that's massive. Even Bemis with that one flashbang, I've got to give it to him as well. Not a play you generally would be calling out for, you know, super cerebral micro plays, but obviously, guy's a bit of a beast as well. And that flashbang was very nice to see. Missed shot though from Robson. This time Carrigan tagged in the smoke but not quite brought down. Peeking in again, but that's another AWP on the other side. Out of the frying pan into the Bemis. Twist will fall.
Yeah, Carrigan was hoping to distract, but now he's been finally dealt with. After losing 2 players though, do FaZe still commit to this? They've been slowed down, stagnated. Acor's out in the open, so he's very vulnerable. The Molotov forcing players out, but still no FaZe Clan members peeking forward, so they don't know what's up. Bemis, the Molotov finally fades away so he can take back the position, and he snaps Brokey down.
God, he's so good. He's so good. Frozen's got another. Bemis now gets 3. And that's such a tricky position to play. It's so difficult to get a multi-kill unless they're swinging onto you. But Bemis avoids a Molotov, backs off, dodging an off, goes back up through the smoke and gets that kill. Even that first one, that's no joke either. But oh my god, this replay just tells it all.
Oh my. It's such a weird round as well, right? Because Karrigan was out middle by himself. You know, he was getting attention thrown at him, bullets flying everywhere. And that's where that call goes to move through the smoke palace, only for BMS to be on the receiving end of that. So a little bit hectic and chaotic from both sides, it felt like. And now FaZe are back onto pistols. And now a potential for mousesports to creep back into that lead, where FaZe kind of brought it so much closer. Flashbang good, Karrigan gone. And this time, I don't think the pistols are going to see as much success.
So I'm just going to steal this round away to talk about something very commendable from mousesports earlier on. The first time they went for the double up, obviously this was completely overshadowed by the fact that Rops actually, got that beautiful collateral. But mousesports only had 3 smokes bought into it because they didn't have the money after the double up setup. And when there was 50 seconds of the round gone by, just a minute left on the clock, they still had those 3 smokes. And that's so impressive coming out from a team to be able to have that kind of, composure to keep their smoke, keep their utility for the late round. It's just wonderful to see. Yeah. I really like that. Rops, meanwhile, though, has spotted out a player in the crack. Come on, you can't hit this one. Rops, okay,
doesn't need to.
Go.
Oh, need to hit that one, though.
Would have been nice. Dexter on the sideline, waiting for it. They still clean it up. Not a single player lost, just as you like to see.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. And Rob's picking up the secondary AWP. He's really just enabling Acor to go for the peaks that he wants to go for, right? And I think one of the questions that was answered almost immediately with Acor's integration was that the big thing about Acor, or rather Rops and Frozen, as these star players, is that they're very low resource star players. It doesn't feel like you have to throw a dedicated support alongside them to do the things that they want to do, because they're just tricky players with good mechanics. And a lot of the fights that they find advantageous, and a lot of the places they find themselves in the late round, almost comes off of instinct. But just being able to be a bit more liberal with it, they can even act as supporting elements for Acor. Hasn't had the best of games so far. Rops is kind of stealing the limelight with his ult. The secondary ult where, Acor doesn't want to go somewhere. Yeah. Now Rops is finally getting all the attention.
And this is the interesting thing, which I actually don't think we'll have time to talk about because we'll have to wait. Seems like FaZe Clan might be making a move slightly faster than normal. The run boost being set up. We're not going to see a rotation with the CTs come through. Instead, they're looking to reinforce, be a little bit more dexterous, even backing up just to check in case someone's coming in through the jungle, in through mid, as the smoke will dissipate. Nade won't do too much damage. Oh, big kill from Rain, though, in the meanwhile.
Yeah, looking to speed things up over towards that B-bomb site as well. There's some attention being drawn. You can see Frozen still a little bit concerned about which direction, but it's a feign. Bomb's making his way up connector, and Twist has found an opening kill. That's BMAS, a problem player so far in these rounds, but Rops is going to go unchecked. They don't know that he's up close with that AWP so long as it's been that BMAS has been alone over towards A, and this time Brokey's going to flush him out. So a 4-on-2, the 2 players left of mousesports on the other side. See if they can get something going. Flash play in, Rain just ready on the lurk.
Such a nice peek from Brokey as well. Robs was just waiting patiently because while he jumped up, he saw the gun barrel from Brokey on the stairs. So he knew that, okay, the peek's probably going to come through. But even though Robs has, what's generally considered the advantage where you're the left eye peek and you're probably wondering, hey, he has left eye, why doesn't he see Brokey? It's because of how far away from the wall Brokey is. So that gives you an advantage as well. So distance actually supersedes which eye you're peeking from if there's enough of it. Brokey comes through, sees the shoulder, takes the man down. Acor, careful, careful, careful. You've not had a lot of impact with the AWP, but you still want to save it. He hasn't had that many opportunities to get a duel early on, but maybe that'll be changing in the next round. mousesports still with the good wallet in their back pocket, though it will be able to pull out a full buy.
Yeah, that angle distance effect actually playing a factor as to why Acor even survives. He caught a bit of the shoulder just as he was jumping up and was like, oh no, I gotta get out of here. So it keeps his hands on the AWP. That's certainly good, especially since they've been moving towards that double AWP setup, but not going to jump into that again because they want some additional funds in the back pocket. Maybe Robs as well. Not wanting to steal the limelight away, not gunning for the primary AWP position.
Oh no!
Makes contact with him, so it doesn't go through.
That could be big, actually. They're not going to have any information of the mid players from FaZe because of that. Instead, choosing to reinforce his sights once again. This has been a decision Mouse has made many times over so far. FaZe not really being able to exploit it too much.
Well, again, more slow stuff here from FaZe clan. I think as well, the last time these two faced off, you know, Frozen was being very aggressive, pushing underpass, kind of changing things up, especially in towards middle, but far more respectable, I think, from him, understanding that FaZe clan would be anticipating it this time around.
Oh, he might be getting aggressive now, though. Has had a couple of nice shots over there, particularly with the Deagle that we saw earlier on. Smoke is perfectly timed, and as he's waiting for them to push through, he's instead chosen to give up ladder room. Rops has to be careful, but Dexter will be going down. Meanwhile, Frozen spotted out long range, can't get the spray, and as the contest comes through from the side, gets two? What in the world is that? Frozen's not done yet, looking for more while Beamer settles the score over in Palace. Cold Zero will take him down, and Frozen to follow. 30 seconds, and Robs will be the next casualty. The victims of war increase, and mousesports will have their names on a cross as their bodies populate a very quick graveyard, really.
Yeah, who's stealing from who here? Because it felt like Frozen just had those two quick kills, and it felt like absolute thievery, only for FaZe to answer right back with 3. And it was, you know, labored efforts and missed shots over at the A bomb site that felt like it made that difference, right? The fact that BMAS loses that duel, it keeps the attention over towards middle as well. The site has been cleared out. And things just kind of crumble out from underneath mousesports. Of course, they do still have some money in the back pocket, but this is now moving back into that territory where FaZe are looking to win out the half pretty well here.
God, I can't believe he got that too, I'm just saying, that's
Yeah, it was instinctive as well, right? It wasn't like shots were flying back at him before he made that flick.
Yeah. Some pretty crazy stuff. Still not crazy enough, or maybe just too crazy. FaZe clan will take the lead, and mousesports are at the end of their money. If they lose this one out, it becomes a much easier 9-6 for FaZe clan. Robson, meanwhile, he's also got some movement. Going again over towards the ladder room. We didn't see him get a kill from there last time. Missed a shot onto Carrigan. Now, though, even the opportunity doesn't look to present itself.
Nade. BMS will peek behind it, trying to use the smoke as cover. Negro saw success with this peek last time around. Time a double swing could happen? No, instead actually he drops towards Sandwich as well, so he is in for a world of hurt. They may not realize that he's so close as well.
I mean, they must know. They must have seen it by now, or at least heard it, if nothing else. Acor turns around. That's a smoke coming, flash coming in. Will miss the shot initially, but it's from Palace where Cold comes again to overwhelm. How many times will he win that same duel over the Sandwich? Frozen, meanwhile, mollied away completely. Might be melted pretty soon. Long shot, though, will not land, and Rain overwhelms Dexter. Force back, they've got to save. They have to save. Or will they?
Oh, they
lining them up! Oh, he's got 3! Dexter just managed to completely break open the round on his own, and he's done this before, but maybe not quite as expected. 30 seconds on the clock. Brokey, 1v2. He can definitely clutch things out, but with Dexter trying to fell him through a smoke, it's not going to be easy. Dexter will get the 4, and this is insanity. Michael, the last time mousesports and FaZe clan faced off on Inferno at the exact same round score in the first half, Dexter did the same thing. It was an impossible situation. He came through with a 4K to win the round.
Yeah, you can see everyone on mousesports was at 11, you know, towards that top end. BMAS, Frozen, Dexter, you know, all tying things up between themselves. And now Dexter just come out of nowhere with that when it looked like an opportunity, you're right, where they could have moved to save. You know, Dexter had a clear exit strategy in mind, and FaZe get caught with their pants down. And that's big stuff. And considering he's a low performer.
And Cold finding Robs mid-air, this time not able to get away with the movement shenanigans. Cold had the best spawn possible, and I don't think Robs quite could say the same. Bemis, meanwhile, again, an angle that hasn't always been faithful, but this time it will be. Gets 1, gets 2! Frozen, still fighting away.
Yeah.
Inside the smoke.
Mid position so heavily contested. I can't believe how successful Bemis has been in those, one and done angles typically. Dexter trying to be tricky once more. Oh my god, the timing's working wonderfully for him.
Get this all done, but he's so indecisive about where to watch, and you can see why. Now Bemis is left in a 1v3, and seems like his decision for the B bomb site should be apt, but with this much time, FaZe Clan, they're going to go scouting. Cold might be lulled into a false sense of security over here. Doesn't see anyone. He's making the call. And as he drops, Bemis will still not reveal anything. And Bemis, he's trying to play around the pillar. He's done so perfectly. Cold will be able to see him now. And Bemis is looking for the swing. Goes for it, but Cold will take him down. And with that, we've got to go to a break because this one needs a breather. We'll be back with the second half very soon.
But then say nothing. Maybe you just had too much to say. Cause when you call me up, you just want one thing. And maybe in the end you'll get your way. But I just wanna know, oh yeah, if we should take it slow, oh yeah. I just wanna show ya, I'd do anything for you, girl. I just wanna know, oh yeah. I just wanna know. We just need to stop and take a moment to slow things down, work this out. I got your love on top, we're in the moment, and maybe that's what we're about. Tell me what you want me to be, baby. I promise I can be the one you're craving. Cause I think that I know what you've been chasing. And girl, I'm sick of waiting. I'll be yours for the taking. But I just wanna know, oh yeah, if we should take it slow, oh yeah. I just wanna show you, I'd do anything for you, girl. I just wanna know, oh yeah. I just wanna know, I just wanna know, I just wanna know, I just wanna know you, baby. Yeah, I just wanna know, oh yeah, if we should take it slow, oh yeah. I just wanna show you, I'd do anything for you, girl. I just wanna know, oh yeah. I just wanna know, oh yeah, if we should take it slow, oh yeah. Just wanna know.
It's a game of mist sprays and 4Ks. mousesports and FaZe Clan going into it in the second half. Who can take it away? Neck to neck so far. Question is, whose neck is going to be chopped off? Michael, Yumi Cassidy on the microphone with me as always. Michael, how are you feeling?
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about this so far. I mean, I don't know that mousesports are, though, because it felt like they were kind of letting things slip towards the tail end, and FaZe were getting a lot more success. Straight into the pistol, though. Faster play in from mousesports. A little bit more of the same from what we saw from FaZe, and Rain holding it down with Brokey. Rop's able to get a one trade, but still Rain in position. And he's been so tricksy. Look, jumping off the ladder as well. Finally, Rop's tracks him down.
Oh, that grenade from Karrigan could be massive, but he doesn't even need it. This takes away Dex's life like that. Rob's now left alone, 1v3. Bomb so far away from him, and they're just clustering around and connected. They're not even going to give him a chance. No peek from CT. Even Twist has rotated all the way back to jungle. They're saying, if you're coming at one of us, you're coming at us all. it's so difficult for him to get this one now.
Yeah.
At this stage, you know, maybe a little bit of extra money. One more kill, $300. You know, you can haggle with yourself internally as you contemplate your fate for the rest of the 50 seconds. Rob's peeking out, spots out one player. He does have the time to go for a wraparound or at least threaten it. Meanwhile, nice, clean headshot onto Carrigan.
They don't want to be giving him
And
those.
this is where, yeah, but this is where things get tricky too. He's circling around from the back, and they know this is a possibility, but at the same time, they also know he can just wait it out. This is a game of chicken, and he's isolated out the duels perfectly. Robs could actually get this done. Chris, however, has a word, and that is no. No, thank you.
Yeah, a good adaptation there from FaZe as well. You could see there was some indecision there from Twist. He was well, twisting around in jungle fairly frequently about whether he was going to be wrapped in from the front side of jungle or whether that flank towards window was going to occur. But eventually they make that communication over that they need to just hold into different positions. So one player starts jump spotting outside the connector, so Twist has an easier time holding down towards one angle and denying the potential clutch there from Rops. It was going to be difficult regardless, but the fact that he brings it close, you know, that still instills a bit of worry there for FaZe. So into a forced buy round here from mousesports, and this was something that did feel like it plagued them on that CT side, hoping to do a bit more of the same to their opposition.
Surprise Frozen is the one wielding it. I think Robs might have just been the one to drop it over, which is why we're seeing that come true. Faceline on 4 Farmers is also one of the few teams that seems to be really good with them. Twist finds the first, Dexter the full. Frozen, of course, the raid boss is still alive and kicking, but he's very far back, so his attempts at engagement aren't going to come to later on. So you're not actually going to have the luxury of picking up the AK once it's fallen down the same way you normally would if the first man in is taking it through. That's one of the reasons why you sometimes see them give it to Dexter as well, rather than anyone else. But now, Rain creeping and crawling over in, you know, the belly of Palace. It seems like he's been very good there, but not this time over. No, no, no. Robs takes him down. And things are getting tricky.
Oh, Twist with the backstab. The timing is great, and he gets 2. Or Frozen and Rock are moving in, and Twist has gotten another. So far, so good. Twist on for the ace. Rob's trying to, again, 1v3, same position, different weapon, and more firepower on that CT side as well. They're not going to be as timid, as tepid. Just want to give the fight right to him, and head spotted out. Twist finishes it. Ace on the anti-force buy. FaZe double digits. Rops is pointing to a scout here in the 3rd round. I don't know if I like this.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll wait to see the results. But even still, it just weakens their first gun round. Of course, there are opportunities in middle where you can maybe spam somebody through the wall. I mean, you could get an opportunity where FaZe just think it's an easier round. And hey, there's a tag onto Twist, so maybe a bit of fruit of labor.
I mean, look, there is the argument to be made that, hey, the Deagle plus Scout combination, long range, lots of long range angles with Mirage as well, and maybe get a kill or two, kind of, you know, screw up the CT economy and get a bomb plant in. But that is very best case scenario. You know, it's not one of those. Also, he's not Serson or Chris Shea. You know, he's not one of those players who you see a scout in their hands.
It feels like the scout is their identity almost. You know?
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Well, minute chewed off of the clock now, and posturing up for this B-bomb site.
I had to do that, Michael. I'm sorry about that, but hey.
Well, it's going to be a bit of a bait and switch, it feels like. And it might be Carrigan teed up for a bit. You know, Twist was set up for the ace on the FAMAS. Carrigan wants a piece of the action, but Brokey may just steal it all away. He's gunning them down with the AK. Carrigan just there to support. They've got their hands on another weapon, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be too much damage. Bemis, 2 kills. Frozen all alone, though. And, oh, okay.
Oh, big kill. Can he go for more?
Dear.
Gets another tag. Twist was low, but that wallbang is not quite enough damage. Still Has time for the bomb plant, but Rain with the grenade lined up will start to chuck it out. Bomb should be
shallow.
able to go down, and indeed it does, and indeed it is. A 1-on-2 that's entirely doable. Now, looking to swing out wider, goes to the back of the bomb site. They might not be expecting this little bit of movement. Rain, however, underneath the smoke, gets his sight line and takes away the man himself. That could have been very different had the scout killed Chris. And look, he was on 30 HP. That wallbang comes through. If it's on the head instead, if he's just a little bit to the side instead, completely different round.
Yeah, I feel like I eat my words a little bit there. Just the fact that, you know, we talk about the misinvestment, but the fact they get a bomb plant down, you know, that helps mitigate the potential additional costs. And they can move into full buy territory. You know, they would have had a lot of funds on everybody but Robs, you know, he would have missed out on some utility.
Look at that shot.
But yeah, I was surprised he came out on top of that one. You know, it felt like he was falling away and then boop, straight through the edge. And the dirt is gone. FaZe, 11, 7 rounds here for mousesports, and we'll see them set up in this default once again. I'm hoping to get a bit more impact out of A-Core. It felt like the last time, the times we've seen him out, you know, he has been a bit more passive in the way that he's approached the game, especially when we compare it to Madlines, where he was pushed into a star role.
Hell, I mean, he's just comparing to Rups.
Yeah, even within this game, yeah.
Feels strange, like it all on the CT side especially. It almost felt like A-Core was the secondary opera, not Rups. But of course, man's got his moments as well, and Rups is having a phenomenal game so far. Still, FaZe Clan heavily in the lead. This is going to be the big round where it's make or break as far as economy is concerned for them. And mousesports have got a lot of map control, sure, but not really any sight lines established. FaZe is playing this very, not exactly defensively, but very passively for sure.
Almost feels like a repeat of what we were seeing from FaZe on their T side. Just these slow approaches, late round smoke onto short, and Broki's found a kill on the AWP. Lurking presence from Frozen. They wanted to converge on this B bomb site. Karrigan's close to the smoke, so as this fades, he's right in front of him, kissing him with the bullets instead, and BMAS is there to trade things out. Broky alone on the site momentarily, and they can't make their way up of short yet.
A-Core, massive kill though, 20 seconds, but he's turned around. Cool Zero will still fall. Broky's the one to get it though, as he will have to pull out the 1v2 to take it away. Of course, with the trades, you could say it's a 1v1, but even so, Broky, big round coming up from him. And this is very reminiscent of old school Counter-Strike to me, Michael. This is not the CTs getting aggressive early on, apartment control already. They're holding angles, and then they just go in when it's that 40-second mark. Broky takes a peek with the op, gets that kill, gets that information, and off the back of that, then FaZe adjusts the rest of it. It's very old school, and I love it. I have to say that. I absolutely love it.
Well, it almost feels like the same strats being used against each other so far. And Broky has been far more impactful thus far with this AWP. Look at the stance he's taken in this round. Deeper into the apartments. Frozen's already beat across. So he's going to have to do a minor flick. Instead picks up Pumas from behind and able to adjust, but Frozen bests him.
It's still Karrigan who's isolated duels, made it so Frozen's teammate couldn't come back through, and with the jail smoke being chucked forward, that one's slightly ripped. He doesn't have the one way, but Twist has only one way out of there. And there's to take down Robs, which is exactly what he does. Karrigan looking for a frag, comes out and takes out Dexter. A-Core left all on his lonesome. 1 versus 3. No bomb, no utility. Not looking good.
Well, another 1v3. The mousesports have to hope to see some damage or success in. I mean, you don't hope or you don't expect him to really pull away with anything. He has a lot of time to consider this one, but unless he finds somebody, you know, looking the wrong direction, brings it to the 1-on-2, it's not going to really happen. So as he moves through, I mean, if he gets tempted into this, it's a surefire tool for Twists. So much damage. And pulling out nades? Okay.
Oh my god.
Nade would have finished him off, actually.
A little bit labored. Yeah, and they don't actually pick up the AWP, which is surprising. They don't want to go into the apartments to recover it while they were waiting for it. I was actually watching after that. I thought for sure Rain would go through, but decides against it. Rob's not looking too happy right now. Of course, we can't really see much of Twist other than those big shiny teeth.
Oh yeah,
he's
he's too close to the monitor. He needs to just move the webcam back a little bit so it's not quite so dramatic. But maybe.
Did you see Bit, by the way?
Yeah.
Did you see how Bit plays? Dear God.
And then sometimes, when he'd die, you know, he'd lean back fairly heavily, and then you'd see just how close he was. You know, we got the stark contrast.
Yeah.
I think something we haven't touched upon really has been the battle of the IGLs. You know, Dexter trying to implement into mousesports, and then Carrigan mustering up the old vets of FaZe. Dexter's been doing quite well this game. You know, he was in a lot of solid rotation positions. We saw him with that big 4K moment that found another round on that CT side for Mouse. And Carrigan is kind of creeping back into this with the CT side victories that FaZe Clan have been doing. And it almost feels like Carrigan is being set up for a bit more success on the CT side. You know, we've seen Cold taking fights. We saw Brokey as well kind of baiting for him. And it seems like Carrigan is trying to be a bit more elusive as to where he is positioned. And that may be that change-up that mousesports haven't been able to isolate yet.
Dexter over in mid, looking for a flick, but is not really able to find it. And this is where Brokey just packs off, not really too bothered. Twist is there with the cover fire to make sure that they can't pick him off in transit. But just to touch on the point you're making, there is one thing that we still have to keep in mind. Even if Carrigan's giving himself a little bit more space to be elusive, he's still generally the one who's playing these off angles. So it seems more like a bid to maintain normalcy for the Stars while he is still assisting in a different setup. Because, you know, obviously, putting Brokey into that spot in jail, sure, he might just get 2 or 3 kills because he's not expected, but would you really not rather just have him on the, you know, place where he can duck in and out, dive in and out? Meanwhile, though, I would talk about that. mousesports has lost all their players. And another one bites the dust. Hey, call. Nice shot.
Yeah, it definitely plays into the strength that I think Carrigan will have coming into this game about the tendencies of these players. You know, he doesn't need a scouting report. He is the scouting report.
Yeah.
He felt like he had a relative... I mean, he had almost a 2-year tenure with mousesports, right? Yeah. But it felt like he effectively raised ROPS, right? It almost... I think it was used last time they were around, but like, why did Dad leave type scenario.
I like to think of it more like a, you know, student graduating from the sensei and having to face off against him later on. Brokey, however, in the meanwhile, not quite able to land that shot. Looked like it might have been nearly on point. But a much more heavily A-sided commit from mousesports coming through over here. They are on the verge of elimination in this map, at least. You don't want to go out without a fight, at least. You know, get your morale up. Last time they faced off against FaZe, it was a much better result than what potentially could come through with how things are looking.
Well, FaZe wanted to go for some connector control. Carrigan did miss a smoke, so still missing out on some information towards mid. Bomb's still down here for mousesports. Person to recover that will have to be Frozen. And they're slowly wrapping around this A bomb site. Twist still in a very contestable position.
Such a strong spot from Twist, though. He's got himself 1, makes it 2. Now Coldzera is the only one left, and why wouldn't you want him alive? Even doesn't need to really pull the trigger. Will hear Beamer's running away from him. You can't really run or hide from the big band Cold. Carrigan inching forward, AWP at the ready. And Bemis is being choked down before he even knows it.
It's just a big-time collapse on that A-bomb site, and no one even picked up that bomb, so Bemis is trying to hightail it out of there, and hello, Brokey. Knock, knock. Get out of my apartments. 15 rounds for FaZe Clan. They are looking to push this one into the second map with a victory under their belt. Of course, this is our map pick coming into the series, so we would have expected that they do relatively well, and they won last time round in this particular matchup, right? Hoping to be convincing about it. See if there's any shifts up here from mousesports pacing-wise. They've been relatively slow in the approach, but FaZe are instead the ones to change things up. Twist in their face, and the flash is perfect. First kill in, Acor can't adjust in time, and Frozen is alone up of short. They'll know that this is a possibility, but they've been gunned down from the very get-go here on mousesports.
It's the beginning of the end, and Frozen will indeed be a sign of things to come. Perhaps Dexter alone, 1 versus 4. He saved out a couple of rounds, but this doesn't look like it. Not a single round on their T side, and mousesports will have to go to the second map with their heads down. We have to go to a short break, though.